I don't think anybody asked this question of Kyle Shanahan in the aftermath of losing the NFC Championship game and having played 4 quarterbacks this season, with Josh Johnson getting meaningful minutes with the season and title and trip to the Super Bowl on the line because Brock Purdy got knocked out of the game and placed Brock Purdy in the position of being third-string magic carpet riding starting quarterback in the NFC Championship game and turning him into the emergency quarterback too. He was the emergency quarterback all year long and then became the most important quarterback for the team and then finished the season as the emergency quarterback, hardly being able to throw it more than 3 yards down the field because his elbow got hurt in the game. And nobody asked Kyle Shanahan this. I don't think it wasn't the time or the place or had the temerity to say, who's going to be your starting quarterback next year? Well, Brock Purdy's MRI came back and placed that very question right front and center for the San Francisco 49ers and for the rest of the NFL. Because when Hassan Reddick hit Brock Purdy in the pocket of that NFC Championship game in San Francisco's first offensive possession of the game, not only preventing what looked like on all 22 a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk that was schemed and ready to be executed, not only did Reddick prevent that, he knocked Purdy out for the game as an effective quarterback. And by the way, when Josh Johnson got knocked out of the game, prior to that, he fumbled a ball on a snap that Reddick recovered. But we found out that Purdy now has, according to my colleague from the NFL Media Group, a complete tear of his UCL tendon in his throwing elbow. The Niners, according to Pelissero and multiple reports, have told him he needs surgery. He's going for a second opinion to see if that's in fact the case. Either way, it appears it's a 6-month sit down and that he'll either be ready for training camp or halfway through it. Now, boy. So any thought that Purdy, what we saw from him in his tenure as the starting quarterback, keeping things not only just on the rails, but steaming straight towards Arizona for a trip to Super Bowl 57 until Hassan Reddick blew all that up. Any idea that this is his gig, that he's going to get this gig, that Trey Lance is coming back from his ankle surgery, his leg surgery, that it's going to be the two of them battling it out? Well, there's no battle. I mean, Purdy's not going to be ready to battle on the field, compete on the field. Forget OTAs and organized team activities and mini camps. Forget that. That's gone. So Lance will get those unless he's not ready. And I think we're going to get the opportunity to ask Trey Lance directly how ready he will be, because currently, as of this sit-down airing of the Rich Eisen Show, Trey Lance is scheduled to be our first in-studio Super Bowl guest when we arrive in Arizona Wednesday of Super Bowl week, 1 week from tomorrow.
Okay.
He is scheduled to be our first up in-person guest. So we'll see how he, hey, he has no idea the set that he's walking onto is the home of Ankle Watch 2023. I mean, we're going to be on it.
We're going to need some film to review.
Is he going to use the mini steps up the riser? Is he going to just jump on the? I mean, we'll all be looking.
Now my mind is just racing right now.
But in all seriousness, could you say that knowing that had they made the Super Bowl, there were preparations and plans, as they say in the NFL information business, to have Jimmy Garoppolo active as the backup quarterback for Super Bowl 57? Could you make the case that Jimmy Garoppolo is the most healthy quarterback currently on the roster of the San Francisco 49ers, with Johnson concussed and Lance still not back from surgery and Purdy slated to have it potentially, and Garoppolo?
Well, Garoppolo's not actually on the roster. He's a free agent.
Well, what I'm saying is in their world, right?
Right. He's in the building still.
So who could it possibly be if Purdy's not ready for training camp and we're currently sitting here about Lance and, it appears like it's going to be his gig. He's under contract. He's the guy that they went ahead and got atop their draft board 2 years ago now. I mean, if he's that guy, then he's going to be that guy. Could they possibly turn around and say to Jimmy G, hold the phone? We want you to stay here? And the question is why would Jimmy G do that if the Jets have an opening and want to run the offense that he runs and the Raiders have an opening and his former coordinator is now the head coach there, ready to have him operate the offense that he knows? Why would he stick around there only to find out if they still want to go to Lance or when Purdy comes back? Or to the Niners? I didn't think this could be possible, 100% possible. It may not be still, but I just didn't think the Niners would be in a situation where they would be willing to pause the maturation or the growth or to pause their plan at quarterback with their young quarterbacks, plural, for this guy. But Tom Brady fits. I mean, if you see this team right there in the NFC Championship game, defense ready, rest of offense ready, just add quarterback who can stay upright, protect himself in the pocket, and get the ball out on schedule in the manner that the head coach schemes it. And Brady's looking for a spot where he can have his best chance of riding off into the sunset with his, wait for it, 8th Super Bowl ring. 8 for Brady. Just take the 0 off and the 4 octogenarian Oscar winners. 8 for Brady. New movie. It's a sequel. I don't know if Harry Hamlin's available, but we can check on him. 8 for Brady. What better situation is there? I know we've talked about Miami, which for him, with his children living in that town, his family living in that town, that seems to me a spot, but are they willing to tell Tua to take a year off? What if Brady wants to play for more than 1 year? Would the Niners be willing to do that too? I got to sit here and think to myself that with this roster ready to roll, that Lynch has put together, that this team has gone to the NFC Championship game 3 of the last 4 years, but they're 0 for their last 2 in making the Super Bowl in that game. And the 1 year they made the Super Bowl, they didn't win it. That they are ready to end that nonsense and put a trophy in the case. And if Tom Brady is willing to go home, when I say home, I mean literally his ancestral home, and play for the team that he wanted to play for this entire time growing up until he heard his name for New England, all the way through to maybe, who knows, last couple of years, free agent visit. Brother, this seems to me ready-made. If Purdy's not going to be, it's again, you're going to say, okay, Purdy's going to be ready in training camp. Got it. Lance is not yet ready now. When will he be ready? What will he look like? Could there be a setback? Could there not? Obviously, there's setbacks in life all around. You never know. But there's so many variables that could just be fixed with Tom, you come here. And then Lance and Purdy go in this quarterback room and learn and watch the GOAT. I don't know what they think about it. Again, we got Trey Lance first up next week. He could walk on and look like he's ready to go right then and there, and that ends that conversation. Or not. Oh, my goodness. Is it on? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.